Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic, host of Bachelor in Paradise, a guy's review. Happy Friday. I hope you're doing some fun things today, like dodging your responsibilities, whether it be at work or at home. Good to see you here today. Let's get ready for a great weekend. But we have got some breaking news we're going to have to get into. You guys know what needs to happen when we have breaking news. Ladies and gentlemen, do me a favor. First, hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. But we have some breaking news regarding winner of Katie Thurston's season of The Bachelorette, one Canadian's own Blake Moynes here, fashion diva and also never a misser of leg day. Blake Moynes may have leaked that he's on the next season of Dancing with the Stars. Let's get into it. Was he kidding? Was it real? We don't know for sure. And if you want, you can join my Patreon, patreon.com/Dave Neal if you want, for our Saturday morning live streams. It's a private community. We do a little coffee Saturday mornings and do some live streams. But let's jump into this tweet here. Robert Mills said, big Dancing with the Star news coming soon. And then Blake responded, can't wait to get on that stage. To which Robert says, Blake Moynes, amazing secret keeper. And then he goes, shoot. Okay, was he kidding? Now, if this wasn't real, I'm sure, and they didn't want to release it, they would have deleted this. Maybe they're just having fun. My thoughts are that he is not on the next season of Dancing with the Stars. Although, hey, why not? Although, I don't know if we've seen many winners go on the show. We see a lot of leads, Caitlin Bristowe, Hannah Brown. They both won their seasons, spoiler alert. Let's see if Blake can bring that Bigfoot energy to Dancing with the Stars there. He definitely would be a lovable hero. We would love to see what he looks like in sequins. I'm sure he would crush it. Speaking of not waiting to get on stage, if you're watching this now, I've got a stand-up show Saturday night, Santa Monica, California, 10 p.m. You can buy tickets. Send me a DM. I'll send you the link. It's going to be a fun time. Future shows coming up. I also have another show not on here, I believe September 8th in Hollywood. So let me know if you're in California, and I'll also be sharing some New York City dates, possibly September 9th, 10th, 11th. We'll have to see. I'll let you guys know. All right, so let's keep this thing going here. There's going to be a few slides in between. Let me just jump around. We're on bachelornation.scoop. Always give them a follow. Someone says, wait, is he joking? LOL. That's the thing. People are like, we don't know.
Listen.
Here's Katie Thurston.
I'm doing you a favor by not dancing on my channel, okay?
Here's Katie Thurston dancing.
How do you,
So this is a TikTok she posted when people ask if she's going to be on the next season of Dancing with the Stars. She says, when people ask me about dancing, ABC, this is from 1 year ago. Boy, a lot can change in a year, though, Katie Thurston. Someone says, OMG, I'm surprised Katie's not going on. Now I understand why you don't post TikTok dances. There you go. So, hey, we don't, listen, Hannah Brown and Caitlin Bristowe, God bless them, love them, roll tide. I prefer Caitlin Bristowe to Hannah Brown. Just a personal preference. Love my neighbor of the north. Look, Hannah Brown and Caitlin Bristowe had dance experience. I would prefer to see someone like Katie Thurston on the show who doesn't have dance experience. You know who didn't have hosting experience that became the host of the show? Tyra Banks. Now, I'm not saying she didn't. She hosted her own show, the Tyra Banks Show. But boy, when it came to live hosting, Tyra Banks was atrocious. She was on, leave a comment, let me know. Maybe she got better. I just watched the first episode and I was like, wow, that's what a dumpster fire looks like. That's called live TV, folks. It was bad. She was fierce and she was smizing and I was like, yikes. You could tell she was a producer because she stole all the lines and the judges were like, all right, we'll just sit here and collect our direct deposit if you want to run this thing. Anyway, I digress. Let me know if Tyra Banks got any better. But obviously they canned Tom Bergeron for no good reason because he's an old guy. And they wanted to spice things up, but I think they got rid of... I think people didn't realize how much everyone loved Tom Bergeron as a host. Speaking of which, Chris Harrison, I've been saying, might be on the next season of Dancing with the Stars. We'll get into that, but first, here's a sneak peek of Blake Moynes and Katie Thurston practicing for their run on Dancing with the Stars. Is that a mirror ball trophy in the background? Or are you just happy to see me? No, that's obviously... slow dancing. I wonder if that's a move where you slow dance from behind. All right, so we've got a few announcements of who's going to be on the show, but let's go into some theories. Chris Harrison, Fran Drescher, and more. Here's the rumored celebrity cast for Dancing with the Stars. I would love to see Fran Drescher on Dancing with the Stars. Is that how she does it? I could be wrong. We're 6 weeks out from season 30. Wait, what date was this? This was from yesterday. 6 weeks out from season 30 of D-Dubs, and while the full cast announcement for the hit ABC series probably won't come until the beginning of September, we got our first sneak of the new cast today at the Television Critics Association Summer Press Tour. ABC announced that Olympic gold medalist Suni Lee and pop star JoJo Siwa will both be joining the season 30 Dancing with the Stars cast. Oh, Suni Lee is going to be fantastic. I mean, she's she's a gymnast. Now, obviously, being a gymnast is different than dancing and having the rhythm there, but on the physical abilities alone and the ability with muscle memory, I think Suni Lee is going to be a top contender. Not to mention, she's a national hero, right? We saw what she did. She's the best all-around gymnast in the world, and then we get her on our screens here. I will for sure be recapping aspects of this show if it involves Bachelor content. Now, Chris Harrison, before I read whatever this says, I thought this was a genius idea. He said when they asked him to be on the show, this is all rumored, by the way, that he was like, oh, they thought he meant host, and they were like, no, to dance. And it's like, listen, if the show made Sean Spicer look good, this is Chris Harrison's redemption story. If you're Chris Harrison and you want to move on from all the muck that went down this past year, obviously there's other avenues that would be productive for him to take, but this is a great idea here. Despite the veteran reality host exit from the Bachelor and Bachelorette franchise earlier this year, there's still a chance we may see Chris Harrison on ABC. A source told RadarOnline.net that he was approached to be a contestant, though he initially thought it was for a hosting job. He was a little upset when he realized Tyra wanted him as a contestant. But after he got over his bruised ego, Chris didn't say no. It would certainly put the show back in the headlines, considering how Harrison was essentially forced off the ABC Megalith franchise after insensitive remarks during the latest Bachelor season. So do we hold him to a different standard as a contestant versus a host? I think so. I do. I'd love to know what you guys think, though. Leave a comment. Let me know. Tayshia Adams. This is news to me. Speaking of breaking news, folks, Tayshia Adams rumored. Okay, this can't be true, right? Because she's actually, well, I guess it depends on when Dancing with the Stars starts filming versus when, I'm trying to do the math here. I would assume that, this actually might work. Because right now, Tayshia Adams is, let's just read what they said. Speaking of Bachelor Nation, Tayshia captured America's hearts when she appeared on Colton Underwood's Bachelor season. Dodged one. Going on to become a Bachelorette herself after the final of her season, she gave an interview with Extra in which she expressed interest in putting on her dancing shoes. Unfortunately, the success of the franchise on D-Dubs may be working against her. Previous two Mirror Ball winners were both Bachelorettes in Hannah Brown and Caitlin Bristow. Pro Cheryl Burke has even allegedly requested the producers put a pause on casting from Bachelor Nation. Not to mention, Tayshia may not have time to dance, considering her role as replacement co-host for this Bachelorette season may be long-term in Harrison's absence. She could figure this out because Michelle's been filming for 2 weeks. I think it's a 5 or 6 week film cycle. So she might be ending this before Dancing with the Stars starts. Now, the first few weeks, she wouldn't have much warm up, but assuming she can hold a note or two, you can usually make it through the first few weeks. Also, she'd have a huge built-in fan base. There's a reason why it's so synergistic, obviously, to have Bachelor contestants do this show. The overlap of audience is probably like 90%. They're both on ABC. They're both owned and operated by the same warlords there over at Disney. Zach Clark. Tayshia's not the only one in her household interested in D-Dubs. Fiance Zach Clark expressed interest after appearing on Cheryl Burke's podcast, Pretty Messed Up. 10 years ago, I had a needle in my arm, said Clark, a recovering addict. And now I'm sitting here talking to you guys about all these crazy experiences. That doesn't happen to just anyone. Yeah, Zach Clark would be a fantastic fit. Obviously, he could share his message about addiction recovery and all that. I don't see this happening. I don't see Zach Clark or Blake being on the show. I think if they go with Chris Harrison, which I think would be the best thing they could do for ratings, that they're not going to have another person to conflict with the messaging. Just a thought. Hilaria Baldwin, right? She was the one who had that fake accent, right? Kellyanne Conway. Oh, golly. Leanne Rimes cheated on her husband. That's okay, right? When a woman does it, it's fine. No one cared that she was a homewrecker. All right, I digress. Fran Dresser, gonna need a nanny if she's out there. All right, trying to see UFC fighter. Brian Austin Green, that'd be a fun one. All right, is that it? Is that everybody? Okay, so we'll have to see who else it is. Of course, it was announced, they're announcing slowly Suni Lee, but also JoJo Siwa. Now, JoJo Siwa came out as, well, I don't want to get this wrong. I think pansexual. Old-timer Dave here. I'm still trying to figure out these terms. Get off my porch. No, I'm trying my best here, folks. I think this would be great. They're saying it's going to be the first contestant to have a same-sex couple. Now, I can't wait for people to get up in arms over that. Like, dancing's supposed to be between a man and a woman. We can't, if we start having two women dancing together, what are we going to start dancing with pigs? How's that going to work? How about this? This is Derek Huff and his sister, Julianne Huff. And look, hey, I'm not against, look, they've been dancing their whole lives together. I'm sure there's literally zero sexuality to it all. By the way, his arms look great. But, hey, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? People have said they think Julianne Huff should be the next Bachelorette. She was rumored to be, but of course, I think they can't afford her, right? They'd have to pay her a lot. But then again, when your career is not necessarily taking off, and it's no offense to her, anyone who's got a stacked IMDb list, I'm all for. But sometimes you need a little you need to prime the pumps, if you will. That's not an innuendo. Not while I look at these two. Although they are a very beautiful art. They are they Mormon? What are they're too white and good looking to not be Mormon, right, folks? All right, but purity culture. Speaking of purity culture, I just made a video about purity culture with my friend Blair from the Talk Purity to Me Instagram account, and it's a fantastic video, so you'll have to go watch that. But there is no purity happening in this tango, let me tell you that. What is that, tassels on the arms? It's like, listen, I don't know. I don't always dance with my sister, but when I do, I ask that we both wear turtlenecks. Is that just me? What are you doing? You know what I mean? All right, they're fine. They're doing okay. I wanted to Google photos of, okay, here we are. So JoJo Siwa, she'll be doing a same-sex partnership on Dancing with the Stars. Oh boy, what are we doing out there? It's a family TV show. I hope they're great. I really wish them well. I hope this sort of destigmatizes a lot of people's views on sexuality and, gender differences and this and that. Two people, regardless of their sex, can enjoy a dance. It sounds so archaic to even talk like this because I sound ignorant just explaining it all. But there's plenty of people out there that are like, well, dancing's the devil's doing. Why do I sound like an old? And if you're going to dance together, you need to leave room for the Holy Spirit right in the center there. You need to leave room for, okay. All right. Anyway, she's got a ginormous following on YouTube. I mean, she's just huge. And, she came out, I believe, last year, which made big news, and good for her. Having a huge fan base that can appreciate it. I feel like we empathize with others when we put ourselves in their shoes. So we empathize with others when we can see some behind the scenes of who people really are, and we don't always get that on scripted TV, and we definitely don't get it on shows like The Bachelor. We start to, but it's still it's so produced, we don't always get the storylines like maybe Brendan Quinn Scanzano. We never got to see his storyline. Blake's friend there that was on Bachelorette, I interviewed him and everyone was like, oh my gosh, this guy's great. We never got to hear from him, And with cases like Chris Harrison, he's generally a very, I wouldn't call him reclusive, but he's not the type who's doing the podcast circuit. He comes from old school terrestrial media. So while he was being a company man, he was, getting canceled and then eventually, gets power attorney Brian Friedman to give him about an $8 to $10 million settlement to get out of there. But it makes you wonder, does that mean he can't work for ABC? No, they can do whatever they want. ABC is the boss. They can sign off on whatever they want. Obviously, they would probably want to make sure the contracts with whatever his termination papers were with Bachelor worked out well. But what's it? Rising tides raise all ships. Is that the stupid thing? But if Chris Harrison draws attention to Dancing with the Stars, it's just going to draw more eyeballs to The Bachelor, even though he's not with them anymore. So we'll have to see how it all goes down. Leave a comment. Out of all of the Bachelor Nation people I mentioned, Blake, Moynes, Zach Clark, Tayshia, Katie Thurston, Chris Harrison. Did I forget anybody? Which of those would you prefer seeing on the next season of Dancing with the Stars? We're guaranteed to get at least one. They would be moronic over there at Dancing with the Stars to not tap into the ravenous Bachelor fan base that we have over here. So I will for sure be covering it as long as it's got Bachelor through lines. But I do enjoy watching the show. I just hope Tyra got better because boy, she just felt like a ball hog. It was like, listen, it's not one of those sports you got to pass it a little bit. Tom Bergeron's good. He just a couple zingers, couple puns. Connor Brennan would be a great host for Bachelor for Dancing with the Stars. Anyway, I made a video about Connor Brennan too. So if, sometimes when a video's not that when it's not a popular time like this week, there isn't too much big content going on in Bachelor Nation. When that happens, a lot of people that are subscribed to my channel don't actually get the alerts. So I'm just letting you guys know. I make 3 to 5 videos a day. Tons of content. If you're not getting the alerts, hit the alert bell. Make sure you're subscribed. But also just Google, type Dave Neal. Go to my channel and see all the new videos because I got a ton up there. It's really good content. My video with Connor Brennan, I played him and his family singing a song, and they sounded so good that my content got demonetized. I got a copyright claim because it sounded like the original song. You'll have to watch that to figure it out. So I'm like, all right, I loved the video so much. I'm like, I'm not going to take that song out. I'd rather just not make any money on it. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Go to patreon.com/Dave Neal if you want to join us for the Saturday morning live streams. It's a fun little community. We have a little coffee and do some motivational convo, just very open-ended. And of course, the pre-Bachelor in Paradise and after Bachelor in Paradise live streams will be going on. And just stay tuned. I mean, this isn't official, but I'm very confident Chris Harrison's on this cast list, and we'll have to see your reactions when that actually happens. All right, folks, we'll talk to you later. Have a great weekend, everybody.